Hi, I'm John Doherty, and this is the Rory Project, where we learn to swing like Rory McIlroy. Video number 7 in the series, where we're going to look at P5 through P8, the release, and compare his driver versus iron move. He's fully loaded here. He's ready to go. This is the point in the swing where he is going to release everything that's stored, his wrist angles, arm angles. He's into the ground, and that's where we'll start. So at this point in the swing, his left heel has just come back down. He's from the top of the swing to this P5 position, and I'll just zoom in. Watch that left heel still off the ground until this P5 position right here. Now it's fully loaded in the ground. Um, I got this angle for us on this video because it's really easy to see the release. And the key part I wanted to talk about was the ground forces, how that triggers the wrist and the arms to come out. So the wrist and the arms have done nothing from the top of the backswing other than fall in behind this body that is aggressively going down into the front part of his left shoe. Knees have flexed towards the left shoe. The body is almost looks like he's about to do a jump. He is sprung down into the ground like he's squishing water out of the ground with his feet. He is definitely a whole lot heavier with his force than he is just walking around. Also, with this angle, we're going to see a lot more similarities between the driver and the iron. Almost identical from this angle. From the face-on view, which the video will do next, we'll see some big differences with setup. And how that affects what he does with those two different clubs. But this one, very close on this angle. Arms are back behind the body, the knees both going towards the front part of that left shoe. We're going to see from this part, after he is now loaded into the ground, arms back behind the body that's opening up. Most people in this transition, if they would have used their body as aggressively as Rory, their arms would have been much more out in front of them and over the top, or too much out over the ball. With the body moving this way, you must get the arms to fall back behind the body. It'll actually feel like they're going away from the golf ball, like the arms are falling back in behind, back towards your glutes, not out towards the golf ball. That's the big mistake most people make, is the arms going down in front of them. It stalls the body, makes them have to stand up, early extend to make room for this club that's about to hit the ground. Where if you get the arms behind your body like Rory, now you got time. You got time to push up out of the ground and then release the club, hit ball, then divot contact. More so with the iron driver, his head's going to be a lot more back. He's going to want to swing up at the ball, but we will not see that from this angle. From this one, you're really going to see now the push up. He's now, after he got into the ground, into the left foot with the arms back behind him, he's now going to push up with both knees, left knee and right knee straightening. And when that happens, that goes first. That right arm will begin to straighten. So he's stored that right elbow. Watch that crack in that bicep and his forearm maintain into that P5. Nothing is fired, wrist or maintained. But after he pushes into the ground, now that right elbow will begin to unfold, very much like if you were doing a reverse bicep curl, if you're just curling a bicep weight. Going up and then letting the weight back down. Letting that weight back down would be identical movement that the right arm is doing here as that body is pushing up. Also, there's torques in the wrist, so he is rolling that grip much like you would rev up a four-wheeler or motorcycle. So that left wrist is going from cupped a little bit to definitely a lot more flat to slightly bowed, if anything, through the ball. So that's square in the club face. Right wrist bend. I mean, you see why these guys wear these pro senders on their right hand. I mean, that right hand is torqued back maximum as he's rolling that right hand palm down, like he's dribbling a basketball at that point in the swing. You'll see him do practice drills. And let me show you that now. All right, checking out Rory on this practice drill. You can see him move the knees and weight into the front part of that left shoe. arms falling in back behind the body, right hand going palm down. That's that feel of that closure of the face or that torque, and that right elbow unfolding um, in his swing. So that is one of his drills that he does to feel that. The body leading, the arms falling in back behind the body, and then that closing torque of that forearm unfolding and that right hand rolling like he's dribbling a basketball. All right, to go with that, Rory has a very weak right hand grip. So his right hand grip is very palm down, and his left hand grip's strong, palm down as well. So both hands are kind of going opposite directions. And this on top, or this rollover, lets him do a maximum release without getting that club face too far left. So that right hand grip getting on top lets him really go maximum right arm force and roll through the ball. He's not holding that club face or steering that club face or trying to make that club face open. He is rolling that thing all the way through the finish to almost where his forearms are very close into P8. Like he could squeeze a piece of paper. We'll see that view more from the face on. But the elbows are very wide here and then very tight coming through the shot with maximum roll. Getting back to the legs, I think this is probably one of the most important things next to the arms falling in back behind this body, these knees and hips rotating, obliques pulling open, and the arms getting back behind the body, and then getting all that pressure into the front part of that left shoe. That this push up. So then that force of him pushing up and then releasing that club at the bottom. And you'll watch that right hand right there is maximum bent back, but he doesn't hold that through it. That's released fully, just like you'd throw a baseball. So if you threw a baseball, your right hand would look like that right before release, and then it would flatten out while you release the pitch. But I think from this view, those are the main things to pick up on. I would say the direction of the body heading towards the front part of the left shoe. We evidenced by his left heel is way off the ground. There's nothing in that left heel. Everything's going to the front part of that shoe. And it's not, and really the left heel doesn't really get down until he starts pushing back on that pressure on the front part of the left foot. The arms back behind him, not in front of him. The right elbow unfolding while the right bicep stays on that right seam of his shirt, and no intent to pull the arms through the strike. Rolling that right hand palm down with right wrist bend with that weak right hand grip. I think those are the keys of this release, and I just think we couldn't find a better angle to look at this. Next one, thanks for sticking with me, by the way. Please like and subscribe, and we'll do video number 8 from the face on, looking at P5 through P8 next time.